Hey y'all, what's up? I'm going to be talking about the AFOQT as much as I can without giving y'all everything. So here we go, real quick. Here are the two books that I used right here, Officer Candidate Test, and then I also used this one as well. And I knew going into the test that vocabulary was my weakest. So I went ahead and got this as well, which this could probably help you even if you know you are good at words and reading or really dissecting a word as far as the prefix and the suffix and the root word goes. This will really help you with this as well. So I used mainly these three books right here. I also used a lot of books that I had in college as far as algebra and trigonometry, geometry, things like that goes. The science as well, I also use those too. So I'm kind of breaking down how I studied for them with the verbal analogies and the word knowledge and the paragraph comprehension. Honestly, I just read and read and read so much. And if there was a word that I came across that I didn't know, then instead of looking them up just so easily as to look it up on your phone or on the internet, is where I would reference this book the best that I could, because it gives you the prefix, suffix, and what even those mean, and then the root of the word and the origin that it comes from, which really helped me to do well in the verbal category. So when it came to the arithmetic reasoning and the math knowledge, I did fairly well in that category as far as taking it the first time and then taking it the second time. So I did take the AFOQT twice. The first time I took it, I did not get the competitive enough score in the verbal category. So the 6 months that I took off from my first attempt and the second attempt, I really didn't even look much at anything as, I didn't look much at aviation or the math or the physical science or really anything else other than the subtests that made up the verbal category, which was the analogies, word knowledge, and paragraph comprehension. So as far as the math goes, the math knowledge and the arithmetic reasoning, I referenced some of my college textbooks, even some of my high school textbooks too. And I was also a tutor in college. I taught college algebra, so having a background in that, I kind of had a leg up, I feel like, on somebody who's probably not as proficient in math as I was. And then it also kind of carried over to the aviation information too. So, since it carried over so well, and since there's like some terms and like just basic knowledge of fundamental mechanics, then that's what kind of helped me in the aviation portion. Also with the block counting, table reading, and instrument comprehension too, it's kind of like you just have to have an eye for that kind of stuff. So for the table reading, you're not allowed to use a straight edge, which was tough. I tried so hard to just keep my pencil where it needed to be, and then then you lose your spot on where you're going to mark your answer. So just do the best you can with that. And these practice books have good practice, but make sure that you're moving very rapidly to answer not only just that subtest, but all of them, because they all just go by so fast, especially for me, the word knowledge and the verbal analogies. Those went by super fast. It started and then ended before I even knew it. So that was pretty cool. And then the physical science too, that goes over a little bit in these books too, what kind of to expect. But for some reason I feel like they were pretty easy questions. Again, for me, I'm really good at math and science. So as far as getting better at the math, what I would suggest is going through every single of the problems that are in both of these books, not only on the AFOQT, portions of these books, but there's also the ASTB practice test, like for the Navy and the Marines and the Coast Guard. So not only do you have to know those, but they're just good practice. They're honestly just really good practice, and surprise, surprise, you're not supposed to use a calculator either. So as you're going through these practice questions, probably don't use a calculator. So that way you're used to it when you take the test. And you are given scratch paper, which my scratch paper at the end of it just was ridiculous. So, and I got a notebook. This notebook is just chicken scratch from the first to the last page, and there's probably no white left on these papers anymore because I just use them so much. Also, when you're doing these practice tests, definitely time yourself and do them as you were taking the test. So also the AFOQT is not, it's not on a computer. At least when I took it, it's a Scantron. So what really helped me was when I came across something that I didn't know, I skipped it. I didn't even try and bother like piecing my way through trying to get the right answer or something. I just said, hang on, and I went to other questions that I knew, and sometimes the other questions, as I was working them out, it would kind of trigger something to what helped me answer the harder question that I had originally kind of put on the back burner. So that's what I did, and then also when you're done taking the subtest, or as you're coming to a close of the subtest, say if you have like 10 seconds left or 8 seconds left, you should be able to see on the clock. At least our proctor gave us a little clock in the room, and I noticed that when I had about 10 to 8 seconds left, and if I hadn't answered maybe like 3 or 4 or something like that, I went back and I just bubbled in something, because what the proctor had told us was, don't leave anything blank. You know, chances are, what if you do get it right? If you get it wrong, it won't count against you. So that really helped me as far as like my mindset goes, like, okay, just put something down and move on to the next subtest, you know? So overall, just be confident going in there. I know when I went to go take it the second time, I felt much more relaxed, much more confident. I knew that I studied what I needed to study by taking it the second time. So that kind of helped me to do better the second time. All of my categories went up, I guess you would say. Pilot, navigator, verbal, quantitative, academic aptitude, they all went up. So awesome. Just keep your fingers crossed. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you guys. If y'all have any questions, please let me know. But do study. Don't take this test lightly. Do practice tests. Like, put yourself in the situation of when you're going to take the test. And I will tell you that it is stressful. The time that you're given is not enough, and they do that on purpose. So go in there, practice, be as confident as possible, and you'll do well. So if you have any questions, guys, let me know.